think when we start, more will join.
So let's start, sir.
Have we all? Shall we start?
Yes.
So yesterday we had covered up to Rule 36 of Order 21, and then Order 37, Rule 37, discretionary power to permit judgment debtor to show cause against detention in civil prison. So it is the discretionary power of the court that it can allow the judgment debtor to show cause as to why he should not be detained in civil prison. Otherwise, also this discretion, it is may, but it is mandatory because the person whose liberty is curtailed and who is sent behind the prison, he ought to be given an opportunity so that whether the claim made by the decree holder is correct or not. Then, when appearance is not made in obedience to the notice, the court shall, if the decree holder so requires, issue a warrant for the arrest of the judgment debtor. If despite the issuance of notice he does not show any cause, then he can be ordered to be arrested in execution of the decree. Then comes warrant for attack to arrest the warrant for arrest to direct judgment debtor to be brought up. Every warrant for the arrest of the judgment debtor shall direct the officer entrusted with its execution to bring before the court, all at convenient speed, unless the amount which has been ordered to be paid, together with the interest thereon and the cost, if any, to which he is liable, be sooner paid. So he is to be brought to the court as soon as possible, and it is not that he can be detained by the detention officer for a long period. Because under the constitution, if a person is put under detention, then he has to be produced before the magistrate within 24 hours. So that mandate has been contained herein without specifying the period. Since we have already discussed regarding subsistence allowance, that he is to be detained and kept in the civil prison at the instance and at the expense of the decree holder. Now all the rules that how the amount is to be paid, what amount is to be fixed, and all that has been prescribed in Rule 39. And Rule 39 has been amended in 1932. Then comes Rule 40, proceedings on appearance of the judgment debtor in obedience to the notice or after arrest. Then how the proceedings are to be conducted once the judgment debtor has been arrested or in obedience to the warrant of arrest, he is brought before the court. So that procedure has been there, that what proceedings are to be followed, and in this the detailed reasons have been given and the law has been prescribed. Then comes examination of the judgment debtor as to his property. Now this Rule 41 is of utmost importance. Why I say so? Because no decree holder knows as to what is the property owned by his judgment debtor. So here an opportunity is being granted to the judgment debtor that he can show that what properties is owned by him or in his possession or power. He has to support it by an affidavit, so that any property which is not owned and possessed by the judgment debtor is not attacked and sold in execution of the decree regarding which the objections can be given. And otherwise also it is giving an opportunity to the judgment debtor to show that how and in what manner his property can be attacked. So examination of the judgment debtor as to his property. This provision is not frequently invoked. There are two reasons for it, why it is not being invoked. Firstly, the interest of the court in execution proceedings is zero. They consider it to be a useless proceedings. Secondly, when the notice is issued, notice is not served for a long period. The judgment debtor tries to evade the service of the service of the summons which are issued to him to show cause as to why or as to what the property is owned by him. So this provision can be frequently invoked by the decree holder to know about the properties owned by the decree holder, so that he is able to catch that property, and then that property can be sold. Then comes attachment in case the decree for rent or mean profits or other matter is of amount of which is to be subsequently determined, where a decree directs an inquiry as to the rent or mean profits or any other matter. The property of the judgment debtor may, before the amount is due from him is ascertained, be attached. This is order 34 rule 34 of the CPC. So it is attachment of the property before judgment, so that if there is a decree for rendition of accounts, and I say that after rendition of accounts, the sum of 10 lakhs will be due to me. So the court can call upon him, the judgment debtor, that okay, till the amount is determined, or suppose, let us take the case of a partnership deed. In the preliminary decree, firm has been ordered to be dissolved. Accounts are ordered to have been taken between the parties. A person is appointed to make out a balance sheet and see that what amount is due from either of the parties or from all of the partners. And till that determination, can be ordered to be attached, or the property of the partnership can be ordered to be attached, so that ultimately the person who is getting the decree will not be paid anything. Then attachment of movable property other than agricultural produce for possession of the judgment debtor. Now this rule deals with the attachment of movable property. As we had discussed earlier, that movable property may consist of so many things. Suppose there is the decrees for the possession of the car or motorcycle or any other movable property, or some goods which are lying in possession of the judgment debtor. So how those movable properties are to be attached, that has been provided, or agricultural produce, because agricultural produce can also be attached, but subject to the restrictions provided under section 60 of the CPC, that whether it is exempt from attachment and to what extent it can be attached and not, that has been provided herein. Then the detailed procedure has been given in this. Then comes Rule 43A. This Rule 43A has been added in 1976, when I had earlier discussed that a rule is described by A, B, C, D. That means these are the subsequent additions in the Act. So this says that once the property has been attached, then how the custody of the movable property is to be given. Suppose I say that car has been attached, some other assets of the firm have been attached, then to whom the custody of those movable property has to be given, and on what condition the custody of that movable property can be given. Then comes, there are various rules, 43A, 43B, C, D, framed by the High Court of Punjab and Haryana, wherein the detailed procedure regarding the detention of the movable property has been given. So we can go through all these things and come to know that what are the detailed procedure regarding these things. Then attachment produce. So it is being now dealt with separately. That how the attachment of the agricultural produce, that means चोना है या कनक है या मूंगी दाल दीजिए या कुछ भी है, कोई भी फसल है, how that is to be attached and then sold for realization of the amount due to the decree holder. Then provisions as to agricultural produce under attachment. it says where agricultural produce is attacked, court shall make such arrangement for the custody thereof as it deems sufficient, and for the purpose of enabling the court to make such arrangements, every application for attachment of the property growing crop shall specify the time at which the same is likely to be fit to be cut or gathered. Now here under the Land Revenue Act, a standing crop can be cut, can be attached, but it is to be cut at the time when it is ripe for cutting. It is not that suppose chona rice crop is being sown in June. In September or October, you say that, okay, we will cut the crop because it is not ripe. So it will be a wastage for both the decree holder as well as the judgment debtor. And it will be also a loss to the nation because if the crop is cut in between, that produce will be minus because the country depends upon the agricultural produce. So it says the time at which it is likely to be fit to be cut or gathered. So time has to be specified. You look at, sir, in March or April, the crop of wheat is going to be cut, gathered and sold. So at that time, the court will order that, okay, the produce may be attached and whatever the sale proceeds are, that can be posted in the court. And then the detailed procedure regarding the same has been given. Then Rule 46, attachment of debt, share or other property not in possession of the judgment debtor. It is relating to debt not secured by a negotiable instrument, a share in the capital of a corporation, and other movable property not in possession of the judgment debtor. Suppose I own thousands of shares in a company which are valued of much value. So if those are to be attached, that what is the procedure for attachment of those shares in a corporation that has been given in this rule. And the procedure is contained in sub rule 2 and 3. Now comes in notice to garnishee. Now garnishee is a very important word which has been used in this act. When we go through the definition clause under section 2 of the CPC, we will find that garnishee has not been defined. So garnishee has not been defined in section 2 of the Code of Civil Procedure. So garnishee is a debtor of a judgment debtor. Now in loose talk terms, एक तो हमारा साला होता है, एक साले का साला होता है. तो हमारे साले पे तो हमारा अधिकार है ही है, तो साले के साले पे ज्यादा अधिकार हो जाता है. तो उसको ये होता है कि मेरे जीजे का जीजा है. तो एनीथिंग which is to be paid to the decree holder by the judgment debtor, and the judgment debtor has to recover that amount from some other person. So, uska debtor hai. So then that garnishee is there. So he can be directed to make the payment due to the judgment debtor, direct to the decree holder through the agency of the court, and that will give him a valid discharge. So notice to the garnishee is there. Then sub rules are there. Order against garnishee, trial of disputed questions, whether he is liable to pay any amount to the judgment debtor or not. So debtor of the judgment debtor is there. Whether he is liable to make the payment to the judgment debtor or not, that question has to be tried. That procedure where debt belongs to third person. वो आके कहता है कि ये मैंने judgment debtor को नहीं देना, मैंने तो तीसरे बंदे को देना ये debt. So that question has to be decided. Then order as regard to third persons. Then payment of garnishee to be valid discharge. अब garnishee ने अगर payment कोर्ट में कर दी है under the account of the judgment debtor, then he will stand discharged from his liability. So his liability will not be outstanding against the judgment debtor. Then comes the cause. Sorry. Rule 46H says an appeal made under sub rule 46B, rule 46C or rule 46E shall be appealable as a decree. Now, can you tell me that whether any other order is appealable as a decree? Vishalji, unmute.
Guruji, all those listening?
Level 11.
The question is that can you tell me that what orders are treated as a decree and an appeal has to be filed against the order as if it is a decree?
Order 7, Rule 11.
Pardon?
Order 7, Rule 11.
Which one? Pardon,
Order 7, Rule 11, he's saying.
Okay, that is good. That is good.
Order 29, 1, 2.
Second is order made under section 144.
डेफिनेशन में है
This is the section of decree.
सेक्शन 2 में
2 में. So here comes the third order. That any order made against a garnishee that is appealable as a decree. And we will be coming to order 21/58 also, which is also appealable as a decree. So we have to keep this distinction in mind that what orders are appealable and what are revisable. Why it has been made appealable? Because mixed questions of law and fact are involved. As such, the appellate court is the best forum to decide those mixed questions of law and fact. So that is why it has been made appealable. Then comes applicable to negotiable instrument, application to negotiable instruments. So all these provisions are applicable to negotiable instruments also. Attachment of share in the movables. If I have a share in the movable property, then that is also liable to be attached. Suppose the partnership firm is there, I have 1/5 share in that partnership firm, then that 1/5 share that therein can be attached. That is movable property. Then attachment of salary or allowances of a servant of the government or railway company or by the local authority. It has to be read in conjunction with section 60, where also the amount which is exempt to be attached from the salary being paid to a person has been mentioned. It says where the property to be attached is salary or allowance or the of a servant of the government or of a servant of a railway company or local authority or the servant of a corporation engaged by and so as defined in section 617 of the Companies Act, and the judgment debtor is the disbursing officer, is not within the local limits of this court's jurisdiction, may order that the amount shall be subject to provisions of section 60. So it is subject to the provisions of section 60. So interlinked with section 60. 60 is the source of power. And here it is the procedure. So that has to be seen in harmonious interpretation with these sections. Then in this rule, the details have been given that how and in what manner the salary, now provident fund is there, and many other allowances are there which are being paid to the government servant, which are exempt from attachment. So if the amount of the salary is to be deducted or is to be calculated, then all those deductions, compulsory deductions, have to be excluded in computing the salary of the government servant. So all these provisions linked with section 60 and these rules have to be made applicable in the attachment of the salary. Then 48A, attachment of salary or allowances of a private employee. There it was dealing with the government employee, central government employee or railway. Here it is a private employee. All the provisions or the details have been given therein. Then attachment of partnership property. Then how they share in the partnership or a partnership property is to be attached. To what extent the partnership property is to be attached. Because this is a question which do crop up when a decree for dissolution of the firm and rendition of accounts is passed. Therein we have to determine that what amount, what property of the partnership can be attached. Suppose I have a suit for recovery against a partnership. That suit is decreed. Then how a property of the partnership can be attached and sold. That has been provided in Rule 49. So detailed procedure has been given. Then execution of decree against the firm. Partnership आ गया. Up against the firm. Any firm, if the decrees against any firm, then how that decree has to be executed has been provided in this paragraph, in this rule. Then comes attachment of negotiable instruments. Suppose a hundi is there, or note is there, or any other negotiable which is covered under the Negotiable Instrument Act is in possession of the judgment debtor. Then how that has to be attached has been given herein. Then attachment of property in custody of a court or public officer. Receiver के पास property है, or any person receiver under the Solvency Act, under the Securitization Act, or so many, or the company's liquidator is there, then whether that property can be attached or not, that has been provided therein. Then comes attachment of the decrees. Now this is also important because suppose I have to recover a sum of 10 lakhs from a judgment debtor. A decree is passed against him. Now judgment debtor has also obtained a decree against third person for the recovery of rupees 10 lakhs or more than amount or less than the amount. Now that decree is there. So that decree for recovery can also be ordered to be attached. It is not that it is exempt from attachment. So I will be subrogated in place of the judgment debtor in that decree. And I can straightway recover the amount from the third judgment debtor of a judgment debtor against whom the decree has been obtained by the judgment debtor. Then the procedure has been given that how and in what manner the attachment of the judgment and decree has to be given. Now from here onwards, there are some important sections. I am reminded of one case, as I had discussed earlier, that we had got the property sold in execution of a decree, and that was a GPO, General Post Office in Ludhiana, situated in Bharatnagar Chowk. So in that case, I was representing the auction purchasers. Now in that case, at the time of attachment of the property, the proclamation of sale was made between Bharatnagar Chowk and Bhaiwala Chowk only. That limited area of 200 meters or 300 meters only. An objection was raised on behalf of the Union of India that look here, sir, the proclamation should have been made in the entire city of Ludhiana through newspaper, through proclamation, beat by drum, munadi करवा के अपने करवाना था, because that would have fetched a lot of person to the auction and the proper amount would have been given. So now this was a very important question. And if such an argument is being tossed before you, you at once become perplexed. So I read Rule 54 and it was a complete answer to that. I will read these three Rule 54. Sub Rule 1, where the property is removable, the attachment shall be made by an order prohibiting the judgment debtor from transferring or charging the property in any way, and all other persons from taking benefit from such transfer or charge. As in the previous discussion, I had said that what is an attachment? Attachment is in the form of an injunction. Now here it is clear, prohibiting him. What in an injunction is being done? It is also a prohibition. It is a prohibitory order. that okay, you are not to deal with the property, you are not to alienate the property, you are not to deal with the property. So here attachment means, and always the attachment will mean that the judgment debtor has been restrained from alienating the property, or any other person, for all other persons from taking benefit from such transfer or charge. Any transfer of pendatellite is also covered under this. Who is taking the benefit from such transfer. Transferring from judgment debtor cannot take the plea that I am a bona fide purchaser. So he is also covered. Then the order shall also require the judgment debtor to attend the court on a specified date to take notice of the date fixed for settling the terms of proclamation of sale. I will be coming to this order 21 rule 66. That what is the purpose behind this settlement of terms of sale. Then comes rule 2. The order shall be proclaimed. Now this is very important because we have to go it very slowly. The order shall be proclaimed at some place on or adjacent to such property. Now on or adjacent, that it has to be made on the property or adjacent to the property by beat of drum or other customary mode, and a copy of the order shall be affixed on a conspicuous part of the property, and then upon a conspicuous part of the courthouse, and also where the property is land paying revenue to the government, in the office of the collector of the district in which the land is situated, and where the property or land is situated is a village, also in the office of the Gram Panchayat, if any, having jurisdiction over that village. Now, if it is an urban property, it has to be affixed on the conspicuous part of the property, then on the courthouse. Then if it is a agricultural land paying land revenue, then in the office of the collector, and then in the office of the patwari, meaning thereby that notice of attachment has to be brought to the notice of all the persons concerned. So that is the meaning behind it. Now the word at some place on or adjacent to such property. So that does not mean that if a property is being sold at Ludhiana, then in this entire state of Punjab or the entire district of Ludhiana, a proclamation has to be made. Legislatures are very wise. Why they have used the word at some place on or adjacent to the property? There was a specific purpose behind this, so that otherwise what will happen is a lot of expenses has to be done. If a Maradhi by beat of drum has to be done, it is a big city. How it can be done in all the areas? How many persons will be employed in making such proclamation? And if a proclamation is made in the newspaper, then how many newspapers are there? I may be subscribing to the Tribune, the other person may be subscribing to the newspaper Punjab Kesari, Bhaskar, or Indian Express, or Hindustan Times. So that was the purpose behind this. Then the order shall take effect as against the person claiming under the gratuitous transfer from the judgment debtor from the date of the order of attachment, and as against others from the date they had the knowledge of the passing of the order of attachment, or from the date of proclamation, or whichever is earlier. Then if a person is a gratuitous transfer who has not paid anything, then it has been given, then when he will be due to have the notice thereof. So that provision has been made. Then removal of attachment after satisfaction of the decree. Suppose my property has been attached, I come and make the payment. So once the payment of the decree has been made, then attachment has to be removed. So it says removal of the attachment after satisfaction of the decree. Satisfaction. Now under section 47, it was regarding the discharge, execution, and three things. Satisfaction. So here the word is removal of attachment after satisfaction of the decree. Then comes order for payment of coin or currency notes to the party entitled under the decree. So this is almost a redundant rule. Then determination of attachment. If any property has been attached in execution of a decree and the court for any reasons passes an order dismissing the application for the execution of the decree, the court shall direct whether the attachment shall continue or cease, and shall also indicate the property upon which such attachment shall continue or the date on which such attachment shall cease. Now this is very important because it deals with two provisions. First is attachment before judgment, order 34. If the suit is dismissed, property has been attached, suit is decreed, suppose suit is decreed. Then if the court does not make any specific order that the attachment shall continue till the recovery of the amount, the attachment will come to an end. If the suit is dismissed, matter ends, the property stands exempted from attachment. And secondly is that when an application for execution is filed and the execution is dismissed in default or for some other reasons, then that attachment shall come to an end unless the courts direct that that attachment shall continue. So the order preserving the attachment has to be passed by the court. It is not automatic. It is not automatic that on the passing of a decree, if the property has already been attached, it will continue. It will cease to effect and you have to get the property attached afterwards afresh. So this provision is very important. And then comes Rule 58, which is a most important part of the execution. It says adjudication of the claims to or objections to the attachment of the property. Now, if there is a claim against the property or objection to the attachment of the property, then all those questions is to be determined by the executing court and not by a civil suit. For the property of a third person has been attached and the decree holder has misled the court in getting that attachment done, then he has a right to come and file an objection that, look here, my property has been attached. I have nothing to do with the decree. I have nothing to do with the decree holder or any amount which is to be paid to him. So he can come and file the objections. Sub-rule 2 says all questions, again 47, all questions, including questions relating to right, title or interest in the property attached, arising between the parties to a proceedings or their representatives under this rule and relevant to the adjudication of the claim or objection shall be determined by the court dealing with the objection, claim or objection, and not by a separate suit. So here it is a clear provision that no separate suit is maintainable. So we read section 12, where it is said that certain, if the rules bar certain suit, then certainly that has to be taken as res judicata. Order 9, Rule 9, 22, 23, 1. So this is also one of the things. Order 21, Rule 58, and not by a separate suit. If a person files a separate suit, then that suit is barred. That is not maintainable, liable to be dismissed. Because the legislature never wanted to give a second innings, second round of litigation to the person concerned. So executing court has been given the powers to determine all those questions. The court has to decide that whether it is to allow the claim or objections and release the property, to disallow the claim or objection, to continue with attachment subject to any mortgage charge or any other interest in favor of any, pass any such order as in the circumstances of the case it deems fit. अलाउ करेगी, डिसमिस करेगी या कंटिन्यू करेगी, and then the resolutory clause is there. Pass any other order. Then where any claim or objection has been adjudicated upon under this rule, an order made therein shall have the same force and be subject to the same conditions as to appeal or otherwise as if it was a decree. So order made under 21 Rule 58 is a decree. It is appealable. No revision is maintainable. Because disputed questions of law and fact may be involved in it. Then where a claim or objection preferred and the court under the proviso to sub-rule 1 refuses to entertain it, the party against whom such order is made may institute a suit to establish its right. If the objections of a third party has been dismissed, then a limited right has been given to that party that he can have a right to file a separate suit regarding the and objections to the decree. Now I think that one other provision, one other person is also entitled to file the civil suit whose claim has been dismissed or disallowed. Please unmute. I think that there is one other person who is entitled to file the objections, and if the objections are dismissed, he has a right to institute a separate suit. Who is the person who can be considered to be the said person? Can anybody tell?
Third party or a beneficiary?
Pardon?
Third party or a beneficiary?
The beneficiary is not there. Under the Transfer of Property Act, I can give a clue.
Transfer candidate?
No, he is bound by the decree.
He is bound by decree.
It is the wife who has a right to claim maintenance and save the property of the husband. That look here, I have a first charge over the property owned by my husband for maintenance.
But then she'll have to execute a decree of suppose under 125 or whatever.
No. She has to file a separate civil suit.
Separate civil suit.
Yes.
So presuming this would actually be a lacuna or whatever we can say bypass if someone's property is under attachment or an execution sought to be sold. So his wife can always file a suit and get that stayed.
Yes.
Okay.
Because she has a prior right and she is not bound by the decree.
Achha.
Or secondly, there is also a second person. Now I just
Parents and children.
No, they are covered under that. Only wife and children. Because that right has been given under the Transfer of Property Act to the wife.
Intervener and all someone?
No.
Any person holding a lien over the property or a mortgager of a property?
No. He has to file the objections and then the objections will be decided therein. This is 53A. If a transfer has been made fraudulently, just to defeat the judgment debtor.
53A?
Yes.
Of?
Transfer of property.
Okay.
A third person is there to whom the property has been sold, and this decree holder, he has not to this decree holder, the transferee, this judgment debtor has not disclosed that fact. He can also to some extent file a suit, separate suit. That look here, that this transfer which has been made by the judgment debtor to the decree holder was fraudulent and to create my rights. Now, what happens is, एक दावा कर दिया special performance का against a person. The other party comes वो आगे कहती है जी मेरा तो प्रायर एग्रीमेंट था इससे पहले का, in connivance with the defendant. Then a prior holder of a prior agreement will have a priority over the. So in taking that analogy to a logical end, this is there.
But that tool can be misused very badly.
So I think that two persons, wife, as well as a person who says that he is a transferee, but transfer has been made to defeat his rights, they are entitled to file a separate case.
But this tool can be misused.
Sometimes it is misused, but very rarely.
Okay.
But very rarely. Then comes stay of sale, 59, where before the claim was preferred or the objection was made, the property attached has already been advertised for sale. The court may, if the property is movable, make an order postponing the sale pending the adjudication of the claim or the objection. And if the property is movable, make an order that pending the adjudication of the claim or objection, the property shall not be sold, or that pending such adjudication, the property may be sold, but the sale shall not be confirmed, and such order may be made subject to the terms and conditions so as to security or otherwise as the court thinks fit. If the property has been sold by some other court during the pendency of this attachment, then certainly the order of sale of property can be stayed by the court. Then comes sales generally. Again, a general provisions, 64. Power of court, power to order property attached to be sold and proceeds to be paid to the person entitled. This general power. Sales by whom to be conducted and how made. So who has to conduct the sales? If it is a urban property, then the auction purchaser fixed by the High Court. If it is a immole property paying land revenue, then it has to be sold by the revenue authorities. Then proclamation of sales by public auction. Now this is very important.
Hi.
Order 21, Rule 66. Here comes a dead end, that anything done prior to this will not be considered while deciding the other provisions which are coming after Order 21, Rule 66. Now I give an example of it from Mahabharata. When it was being clear to both the parties that the war is inevitable, then they sit together and decide the terms of war. ये एक से एक लड़ेगा, तलवार वाला तलवार से लड़ेगा, गदा वाला गदा से लड़ेगा, भाले वाला भाले से लड़ेगा, तीरंदाज तीरंदाज से लड़ेगा, एक से ज्यादा दो मतलब ज्यादा जो योद्धा है वो दूसरे पे वार नहीं करेंगे, सनसेट के बाहर नहीं. All those terms were settled. Similarly, in all the games, cricket, all the rules are settled before the series is started. Maybe one day, maybe 2020, maybe test cricket. So all the rules are settled before. Now, Order 21, Rule 66 is an opportunity to the judgment debtor come to the court and participate in the settlement of the terms of sale. The court has to pass a detailed order. Now, this order, along with the rule, is considered to be an empty formality. कोई ध्यान ही नहीं देता इसकी तरफ. वो कहते क्या है जी, 66 का नोटिस दे दिया, बात खत्म. Nobody takes it seriously. And even if a counsel for the judgment debtor is appearing, he also does not take it very seriously. So this is very important because Rule 2 says such proclamation shall be drawn after notice to the decree holder and the judgment debtor both, and shall state the time and place of sale and specify as fairly as and accurately as possible. Fairly and accurately. There has not to be any concealment. There has not to be any misrepresentation. Now, one is property to be sold, or where a part of the property would be sufficient to satisfy the decree. A 50,000 की amount which has to be recovered, and the property is owned is 5,000 square yards, and each square yard is valued at rupees 10 lakhs, 10,000. Now, if the court says that okay, sell all the 5,000 square yards of land, so that is a travesty of justice. Now, the court has to determine that whether a part of the property will be sufficient to satisfy the decree, or the entire property is to be sold. A part can be ordered to be sold. So, judgment debtor can come and raise the objection. Then the revenue assessed upon the estate or the part of the estate where the property to be sold is an interest in the estate or in the part of the estate paying revenue to the government. So then land revenue has to be disclosed. कि कितना भाई लगान देना है. Movie Lagan had come. Lagan was considered to be a big amount in earlier days, but now it has become only a formality. And ultimately, the Punjab government has exempted the payment of Lagan. So land revenue is Lagan, a famous movie of Amir Khan. Then any encumbrance to which the property is liable. अब जजमेंट डेटर को पता भाई मैंने तो ये बैंक में भी प्रॉपर्टी दी हुई है, सुटेबली मॉर्गेज की हुई है, या फला बंदे को मैंने सौदा किया हुआ सेल करने का. Then he can come and disclose this fact at the time of proclamation of the sale, because all these factors are to be one by one disclosed by the decree holder. If he says, now first is that whether a part will be sufficient or not, decree holder has to state so that a part will be sufficient and which part shall be sufficient, and then he has to disclose the revenue. That encumbrance, he can say that I don't know of any encumbrance on this property. Then fourth comes the amount for which the recovery of the sale is to be ordered. किस अमाउंट के लिए सेल करनी है, 50 लाख के लिए, 50,000 के लिए, कितनी डिटेल अमाउंट है, that has to be disclosed. Then last is the residuary clause. Every other thing for which the court considers material or a purchaser to know. Now it is for the purchaser to know. तो purchaser को बुद्धू नहीं बनाया जा सकता. Okay, they are playing a friendly match. कहते हैं चलो यार इसको बुद्धू बनाओ, purchaser को बुद्धू बनाओ, इससे पैसे एंट्रो. So far as it is practicable that purchaser ought to know in order to judge the nature and value of the property. अब उसको पता हो कि भैया इस पे तो पहले ही 2 agreement of sale हुए हैं, and I am spending such an amount, or this property is lying equitably mortgaged with the bank, and the amount due to the bank is much more than the amount for which the property is being sold. So you cannot befool the purchaser. Otherwise, the principle is mushtari sharbas, caveat emptor. The purchaser has to be very vigilant in purchasing the property.
Buyer beware.
So here it says no. Purchaser has to be made aware of all these facts. Then comes, provided that where notice of the date for settling the terms of proclamation has been given to the judgment debtor by means of an order under Rule 54, it shall not be necessary to give notice under this rule to the judgment debtor unless the court otherwise directs. 54 में attachment के वक्त जो हुआ, but the question is that you can come under 58 saying that the property is not liable to execute attachment, or the entire property is not liable for attachment, or that property is encumbered. So meaning thereby 54 and 58 are correlated, and the court can dispense with the notice, but rarely the court dispenses with the notice. Court says that okay, issue the notice, but they don't apply their mind to all these vital aspects. Then provided further that nothing in this rule shall be constituted as requiring the court to enter in the proclamation of sale its own estimate of the value of the property, but the proclamation shall include the estimate, if any, given by either of both the parties. अब इसमें क्या है कि जजमेंट लेटर कम्स कि जी मेरी प्रॉपर्टी है, ये 1 लाख रुपया गज के हिसाब से कम से नहीं बिकनी चाहिए, और डिक्री ऑर्डर कहता है ये तो 10,000 रुपए गज है. So meaning thereby the court has to give an estimate, a minimum price as is being given in proclamations. कि इससे पहले कोई टेंडर भरना होता है, वो कहते हैं इससे कम नहीं अमाउंट होगी. So that amount has to be specified. And if the property is sold for an amount less than that specified in the warrant, then that is void. So this is a very important section in the entire CPC, because the Supreme Court says that any objection which could have been taken prior to the passing of an order under Order 21, Rule 66 will be deemed to have been waived, and you can after the sale you are not permitted to raise any such objection. जो करना था, it is sort of res judicata, which is applicable here by application of Rule 66. Then every application for sale of the order under this rule shall be accompanied by a statement signed and verified in the manner herein before prescribed for the signing and verification of the pleadings, and containing, so far as they are known to or can be ascertained by the person making such verification, and the matters required by sub rule 2 to be specified in the proclamation. So it has to be in the pleading form, and it has to be verified. It is not that without verification you can give the amount. Then for the purposes of ascertaining the matter to be specified in the proclamation, the court may summon any person whom it thinks necessary to summon, and may examine him in respect to such matters, and require him to produce any document in his possession or power relating thereto. अब जजमेंट लेटर आके कहता है जी मेरी तो प्रॉपर्टी बैंक के पास मॉर्गेज है, इक्विटेबली मॉर्गेज है. द जज कैन ऑलवेज समन. एक तो आके मैंने झूठ बोल दिया, मेरी तो प्रॉपर्टी बैंक पे मॉर्गेज पड़ी है, but whether that property is lying mortgaged actually or not, the court can ascertain this order under this rule. तो उसको लाके कहे कि दिखाओ भैया क्या डॉक्यूमेंट आपके पास, whether the property is lying attached with you or not, or lying equitably mortgaged with you or not. So the court has been given wide powers in this. Then our own High Court, where the property to be sold is movable property, which has been made over to the custodian under sub clause A or C of or clause 1 of Order 43 of this order, the court shall issue a process by way of notice to the custodian directing him to produce the property at the place of sale at the time to be specified therein, with a warning that if he fails to comply with the directions, he shall be liable to action under section 145 of the Code of Civil Procedure. So this is regarding the movable property. कि कार को बेचना था, कार वो लेके नहीं आया जिसकी कस्टडी में दी हुई है. The entire exercise goes, so action can be taken against him. Then every application for the sale of sale under this order shall be accompanied by a statement signed and verified in the manner herein before prescribed, and signing and verification of the pleadings, and containing, so far as they are known to be, so it has to be signed and verified for the purpose of ascertaining the matter to be specified in the proclamation.
We have read this.
We have read this.
The
They have been, I think, repeated otherwise also, because those were, I think, added by Punjab and Haryana High Court. Punjab and Haryana High Court. Now, Mr. Vishal, can you unmute?
Ji.
So, any questions up to this point?
I had one. एक order 21 rule 56 में है, although it is redundant, order for payment of coin or currency notes to party entitled in the decree. Now there was a very interesting case over here. There was someone's maintenance which was to be paid by a person to his wife.
I know. that he had brought the entire amount in coins.
coins.
हाँ, तो वो क्या 2156 में फिर ऑब्जेक्शन होंगी?
नहीं, वो ये है कि order for payment of coin or currency notes to the party entitled under the decree. जो ये coins हैं, they are of antique nature. If the coins are antique, then it can be ordered to be delivered to that person.
The coins are fresh. Issue was the bulk.
So that is a discussion with the court not to accept or not to accept. So it will not be covered under Rule 56.
Okay.
Sir,
Because that is a payment.
In case the coins are antique, sir, but then their value will have to be first ascertained. One coin is worth
Yes,
how much?
So suppose decree has been passed against for mandatory election, or there is a painting, Picasso की painting है, उसका तो कोई substitute ही नहीं है.
Substitute, right?
या शोभा राम की painting है. So those are the things which have to be taken in consideration while we are discussing the specific relief act. एक एक्ट को दूसरे से वो नहीं किया जा सकता, अलग नहीं किया जा सकता, क्योंकि मैंडेटरी इंजंक्शन मूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी की तभी आएगी if it is of antique value which is not available in the market. अब आप कहो जी मैंने तो 4 मूलियां लेनी है, तो मूलियां तो जितनी मर्जी ले लो भैया, करेले लेनी है, वो तो कुछ भी नहीं है ना जी. So that cannot be done. Here the coins payment of order for payment of coin means they have to be specified coins, antique coins or currency notes. कोई currency notes है specific, कोई बंदा कहता है जी मैंने तो 786 के नोट दिए थे, which were having the last figures 786, मेरा 200 नोट था 786 का, मेरे को तो वही चाहिए. Am I clear?
हाँ जी. एक सवाल और जी, एक one more question. Order 21 Rule 58 में there was a clarity that if the objections are dismissed or allowed, whatever, it becomes a decree and is appealable.
Yes.
What about third party objections?
That is why the third party Rule 5 is there.
But it does not clarify repealable, revisable or what?
No, if the third party is there, third party if he is getting the rule this right through as a transferee pendentile, then he is bound by the decree and then he can file an appeal. The third party has a right, as if the wife is concerned or fraudulent transaction is concerned, then he is not required to file a suit, required to file an appeal. He can file a civil suit. Because we read again Rule 5, where a claim or objection is preferred and the court under the provisions to sub-rule 1 refuses to entertain it, the party against whom such order is made may institute a suit to establish the right which he claims to the property in dispute, but subject to the result of such suit, if any, an order refusing to entertain the claim or objection shall be conclusive.
So what is the remedy? Appeal or revision?
No, his remedy will be to file a separate suit.
That is perfect, but he's not able to stall the execution proceedings. So he says, I must stall that also.
Then he has to apply for the injunction.
39(1) and 2.
39(1) and 2. So execution of a decree.
So he goes in that separate
litigation
में जाएगा.
हाँ नहीं.
ठीक है.
क्योंकि वाइफ और मान लीजिए वाइफ आके ऑब्जेक्शन करती है, the decree order can always say that she has been put forth by the judgment debtor. So that has to be determined कि भी उनका भाई पहले ही उनकी मुकदमेबाजी 10 साल से चल रही है. And her right to get the maintenance or live in a dwelling house is concerned. अब matrimonial house है, matrimonial house में वो रह रही है, and that house is being sold. Then she can come and say that, look here, I can't be dispossessed from that. Any other questions? Anji Gaurav ji.
My question. Good evening.
Good evening.
My question is कि जिस तरह it is necessary for the court to at before the auction to reserve a minimum price of the property.
Yes. It is at the discretion of both the parties. Both the parties can give their own valuation. If there is a difference of small amount,
yes,
then the court can fix otherwise. if there is a
Okay.
astronomical difference, one says 10,000, other says 1 lakh.
No. Like the court says that you get an auction conducted.
No.
Now,
If the judgment debtor insists that this should be the minimum price on which my property should be sold, then the court has no option but to add that.
and if there is a dispute, then the court has to adjudicate
Yes.
between those.
Yes.
ठीक है sir. ठीक है.
That is why I
Thank you.
say that Order 2166 is of utmost importance. It is the separation point between the entire rules up to 65 and thereafter the rules on 67 onwards. Because the Supreme Court says that any objection which would have been taken by you prior to 66, and if you have failed to do so, then you are stopped by your act and conduct.
ठीक है sir.
अब सेल होगी, सब कुछ हो गया, नाउ यू कैन से सांप सीढ़ी का खेल हो गया, 99 पे आके आपको सांप ने काट लिया, आप फिर 2 पे आ गए.
Perfect.
ऐसा ही होता है.
हाँ जी sir.
And in litigation, everybody will take a advantage thereof just to prevent the abuse of such a process. This rule 66 has been made,
Right sir.
which is not being frequently invoked and understood by the advocates.
This is never invoked sir. मतलब कि the judgment debtor can still delay the proceedings by invoking this.
Yes, no, it may amount to invoking the thing, but the judge has to be vigilant. That suppose a notice has been served, he gives the reply, he has to decide it without loss of time. Because whenever I get a chance, whenever I am served with a notice where I have appeared for the judgment debtor, I always give the particulars.
कैसे sir? Sorry.
जैसे मैं जजमेंट डेटर की तरफ से पेश हो गया,
जी.
2166 का नोटिस आ गया, then I always give a detailed reply.
अच्छा, ठीक है सर.
कि भाई ये 5000 गज मेरी अटैच की हुई है, अब हमारे केस में 1 करोड़ रुपया लेना उसने, और प्रॉपर्टी उसने 10,000 गज इन्वोक की हुई है जस्ट ऑन जलंधर बाईपास रोड, अबटिंग द मेन जीटी रोड. तो वहां पे अगर आप 1000 गज को भी लगा लो तो 10 मतलब 1 लाख के हिसाब से 1 करोड़ तो उसका ही बन जाता है. And if the entire property of the 10,000 square yards is being sold for a peanut, there lies the main thing, because an advocate has to be vigilant.
Yes sir.
And he has to consult the party and get the instructions के भी बताओ भैया क्या है क्या नहीं है. So this is an important section which has to be frequently invoked by the persons. Mode of making proclamation that has been given, नादी करवा दो, publication करवा दो, और करवा दो. फिर time for sale, ये बताना कितने बजे किन दिनों को होगी, वो 4 डेटें रखी हुई हैं. एक डेट कोर्ट के सामने प्रोक्लेमेशन होनी है, एक डीसी ऑफिस में जानी है, एक एक्चुअल सेल की होगी, एक रिटर्न ऑफ द सेल की आएगी. 4 dates are being fixed. Then adjournment or stoppage of sale, जब बीच में आके पैसे जमा करवा दी उसने, तो then the stoppage of the sale can be made by the court. Defaulting purchaser answerable for the loss on resale. अगर परचेजर है पैसे नहीं जमा करवाता, 25% देके या 5% देके भाग जाता है, तो रीसेल पे जितनी कॉस्ट आएगी, that can be ordered to be recovered from him. Then decree holder not to bid for the or buy the property without permission. ये without permission का इसलिए कहा गया कि otherwise what will happen is that every decree holder will purchase the property himself for a peanuts. So he has to give the reasons कि भाई 2 बार ऑक्शन के लिए गया, कोई आया नहीं जी, अब तीसरी बार ऑक्शन करो तो मेरे को भी परमिट करो. या जहां पे ये जजमेंट लेटर ने अपने बंदे ऐसे खड़े कर दिए कि मैंने 1 लाख रुपए लेना, वो 10,000 रुपए दे रहे हैं प्रॉपर्टी का, प्रॉपर्टी इज वैल्यूड एट मोर, so I may be given the permission to purchase that property. So the court, after considering all these circumstances, allow the decree holder to purchase the property. Then where the decree holder purchases, the amount of decree may be taken as payment. But natural है कि जो पेमेंट लेनी थी उसने वो ले लेनी है. Then mortgagee not to bid at sale without the leave of the court. अब जो mortgagee है again, he is not entitled to give the mortgage bid in the mortgage in the sale of the property. Then restrictions on bidders, bidding or purchaser by officers. अब ये कहते हैं कि जो बंदे सेल में इन्वॉल्व है, whose duty is to get conducted the sale, they are not entitled to participate in purchase of the property. अब वो ऑक्शन परचेजर है, कोर्ट ऑक्शनर ही जाता है, वो कहता है जी मैं ही खरीद लेता हूँ, कोई बात नहीं है, मेरे पास फाइनेंसर है, पैसे दे देंगे. That will defeat the entire purpose. Then sale of agricultural produce, वो फिर उसकी प्रोविजंस आ गई. ये सारी प्रोविजंस जो है सेल रिगार्डिंग इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी जो हमने अटैचमेंट में की थी ऑर्डर रूल 46 से ऑनवर्ड्स, तो उसकी सारा इन्होंने प्रोविजन दी हुई है कि ग्रोइंग क्रॉप्स का कैसे होगा, नेगोशिएबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट का कैसे होगा, सेल बाय पब्लिक ऑक्शन होगी, irregularities not to vitiate the sale but the person injured may sue. अगर there is a difference between illegality and irregularity. Now, can anybody point out what is the difference between illegality and irregularity?
Illegality would actually lead to saying that it is void ab initio. अगर कोई illegality
It is against the law.
It is against the law. And irregularity may be some procedural lapse or something which
Procedural
is
lapse.
That can be
curable.
cured.
Yes, that can be corrected.
Criminal.
Or which causes no prejudice.
No prejudice.
Which causes no prejudice, that is also a irregularity. Because if some mandate has been given that it has to be performed like this and it is not being performed like this, then certainly that can be said to be an irregularity. Then delivery of movable property, debt or shares, कि उसका कब्जा कैसे देना है. अब लाइव स्टॉक है, अब भेड़े बकरियां कौन बेचता है आजकल, या बफेलोज या काउज कौन बेचता है, for the recovery of the amount. And secondly, the recovery suits have come almost to a very small amount as compared quantity as compared to the other suits in the manner. Then transfer of a negotiable instrument, उसमें वो उसकी endorsement होगी under the orders of the court. This negotiable instrument act has been sold, so now such and such person will be entitled, being the auction purchaser, he will be entitled to recover this amount. So that is their vesting order in case of other property. ये residuary clause आ गई. Then what courts may order the sale? Sale of the immovable properties in execution of the decrees may be ordered by any court other than the court of small causes. उसके लिए हमने पहले ही वो सारा डिस्कस किया हुआ जब फर्स्ट ऑर्डर 21 किया था कि ट्रांसफर हो जाती है प्रॉपर्टी या ट्रांसफर कर देते हैं डिक्री, ट्रांसफरी कोर्ट विल डू इट एंड ऑल दैट. Then postponement of sale to enable judgment debtor to raise amount of the decree. अगर वो आगे कहता सब मैं तो पैसे देने को तैयार हूँ, मेरे को कुछ टाइम दिया जाए, then the court can say that okay, look here, such and such time is being given and which may be extended and it has to be a reasonable time. It is not that for years together he can come and say that look here sir मैं तो arrange कर रहा हूँ, अभी हुआ नहीं हुआ. So a reasonable time has to be given. So that is not given as a power to the judgment debtor to delay the sale. Then deposit by the purchaser and resale on default. अब क्या होता है कि 5% उसने मौके पे जमा करवाने हैं, 20% उसने विदिन 15 डेज करवाने हैं, तो 5% उसने जमा करवा दिया, उसके बाद वो भाग गया. अब क्या होता है कि जो पब्लिक ऑक्शंस होती हैं प्रॉपर्टी की बिलोंगिंग टू इम्प्रूवमेंट ट्रस्ट ग्लाडा, व्हाट दे डू इज जस्ट टू रेज द वैल्यू ऑफ द प्रॉपर्टी. वो बिड देना शुरू कर देते हैं, बिड दे के वो हाईएस्ट पे ले जाते हैं, हाईएस्ट पे ले जाके 5% जमा करवाया, बाकी का टाइम मिल गया, बाकी टाइम में उन्होंने पैसे नहीं जमा करवाने. अब क्या होता है कि ग्लाडा और एनी पब्लिक अथॉरिटी वो कहते हैं यार ये इसकी वैल्यू तो इतनी फिक्स होगी, अब इससे कम कैसे बेचेंगे इसको. That means that is a way invented by these unscrupulous persons to raise the value of the property. तो इसी तरह से ये होता है कि ये जो परचेजर है, एक बार तो उसने पैसे जमा करवा दिए 5% and then he makes a default therein, तो रीसेल करनी है तो उसका क्या चक्कर होना. Then time for payment in full of the purchase money. Full amount जो है वो पेश करनी है within 15 days. Before the court closes on the 15th day from the sale of the property. जिस दिन 15 दिन पूरे हो गए उसके 4 बजे तक पैसे जमा करवा सकते हैं. Then time for payment in full of the purchase money or full amount of the purchase money, that is also there. Then procedure in default in payment or in default of payment where the period mentioned in the last proceeding rule. The deposit may, if the court thinks fit, after defraying the expenses of the sale, be forfeited to the government, and the property shall be resold, and the defaulting purchaser shall forfeit all the claim to the property or any part of the sum for which it may subsequently be sold. वो कहे जी बाद में मेरे तो 5% तो वापस कर दो, कहते ना भैया तेरा 5% नहीं जाएगा, ये तो गया, तूने हमसे बहुत ज्यादा खेल लिया, और this amount stands forfeited.
But defaulting amount shouldn't it go towards the satisfaction of decree rather than
वो
government?
deposit हो जाएगी government के forfeited.
नहीं फिर गवर्नमेंट
के
मैंने पैसे लेने हैं किसी से करोड़ रुपया और वो 5 लाख दे के भाग गया, अब वो 5 लाख मेरी सेटिस्फेक्शन ऑफ डिक्री के लिए नहीं आना चाहिए.
इसमें वो लिखा ना, इसलिए तो इसने लिखा है कि डिफरेइंग द एक्सपेंसेस ऑफ सेल बी फॉरफिटेड टू द गवर्नमेंट.
वही मैं कह रहा हूं ना, फॉरफीचर में गवर्नमेंट को जा रहे हैं, इट शुड कम टुवर्ड्स सेटिस्फेक्शन ऑफ डिक्री.
इट शुड कम टू बट द लेजिस्लेचर हैज प्रोवाइडेड सो.
गवर्नमेंट वाला काम हो गया ना कि गवर्नमेंट कहती पहले हमारे को तो मोदी गवर्नमेंट वाला,
पहले तो हमें तो मोदी गवर्नमेंट है, तो कहते हमें ही मिलता रहे सब कुछ. देन नोटिफिकेशन ऑफ रीसेल की नोटिफिकेशन फिर वही होनी है, ऑल दैट एंटायर प्रोसीजर. देन बिड ऑफ द कोशेयर टू हैव प्रेफरेंस. कोशेयर की अगर बिड है तो that will have a preference over the bid given by any other person. Then application to set aside the sale on deposit. So where the immovable property has been sold in execution of the decree, any person claiming an interest in the property sold at the time of the sale or at the time of making the application or acting for or in the interest of such person may apply to have the sale set aside on his depositing in the court. तो वो आगे कहे जी मैं पूरे पैसे जमा करवा रहा हूँ, अब सेल को सेट कर दूं. And that time I think has been, earlier it was 15 days, now it has been given as 30 days under the limitation. So within 30 days any person can come and say that okay, please example this property, they will be set aside, I am ready to deposit the amount. Then comes application to set aside the sale on the ground of irregularity and fraud. Now, this application can be made by the decree holder or by the purchaser or any other person entitled to a share in the rateable distribution of the assets. Now, rateable distribution, which we had discussed in section 73, has come. जैसे हमने कहा था ना, secured creditor उसका फर्स्ट राइट है, तो 90 में आके रेटेबल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन थर्ड बंदे का भी है. लुक हियर, आई हैव राइट टू गेट द अमाउंट फ्रॉम द पर्सन, प्लीज गिव मी द राइट, गिव मी माय अमाउंट, और एनी अदर पर्सन एंटाइटल्ड टू अ शेयर इन द रेटेबल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ एसेट्स और whose interests are affected by the sale may apply to the court to set aside the sale on the ground of a material irregularity. Now for the first time the word has been used as mere material irregularity. It is not to be a simple, it has to be material which goes to the root of the case, which can vitiate the entire sale. So irregularity has to be very serious. It is not mere irregularity or fraud. Then fraud again comes, it has to be proved like a criminal charge. It is not simple to say that a fraud has been committed, sir. Fraud has to be proved. Now the judgments have come that even in civil cases also, the fraud is to be proved like a criminal charge. Simple saying that fraud has been committed, that is not enough. Pardon? So that part, fraud has to be there. No sale shall be set aside on the ground of irregularity or fraud in publishing or conducting the sale. On publishing and conducting the sale, Order 60, Rule 66, up to Rule 66, it has been covered. In publishing or conducting the sale, unless upon the facts proved, the court is satisfied the applicant has sustained a substantial injury by reason of such irregularity or fraud. जब मेरी 10,000 जगह थी, लाख रुपया इन्होंने लेना था, which could have been recovered even by the sale of 500 square yards. 10 की 10 बेच दी जी इन्होंने, 10,000 की 10,000 बेच दी, और that too for a paltry sum. So that has to be a very material thing, and fraud has to be established beyond all doubt. Then no application to set aside a sale under this rule shall be entertained upon any ground which the applicant, now this is very important, which the applicant could have taken on or before the date on which the proclamation of sale was drawn. तो मैंने कहा था कि that is the dividing part of order 26, 21, rule 66.
66.
तो पहले कुछ था, अब कुछ आ गया. वो कहता जो आप पहले ले सकते थे, now you are stopped. It is a stopple. ये थोड़ी है कि कोर्ट बेली बैठी है कि आप जब मर्जी आ जाओ, कि मैं तो आ गया जी, अब मेरी तो सुनो. No, you are stopped. Then application by purchaser to set aside the sale on the ground of judgment and having no saleable interest. Purchaser आके कह सकता है कि सर इसका तो हक ही नहीं था कोई, ये तो प्रॉपर्टी डिक्री से भी पहले, सूट से भी पहले बेच चुका था, तो मेरे को क्या दे रहे हो आप? Because if the property has been sold prior to the filing of the suit, then it means that the judgment debtor has having no right in the property. The purchaser can always come and say, then sale when to become absolute or to be set aside. Under Rule 90 or 91, or where such application has been made is disallowed, the court shall make an order confirming the sale and thereupon this sale shall become absolute. अब 89 में आके उसने वो नहीं कहा कि ऑन डिपॉजिट मैं पैसे जमा कराने के लिए तैयार हूँ. 90 में उसने नहीं कहा कि इरेगुलरिटी एंड फ्रॉड है. 91 में भी परचेजर ने आके नहीं कहा कि सेलेबल इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. अगर कोई कहा और एप्लीकेशन डिसमिस हो गई है, then the court has no option but to make the sale absolute. So this is a power given to the court, executing court, to make the sale absolute. So all those provisions have been set. Now in this sub rule 3 is there, no suit to set aside an order made under this rule shall be brought out by any person against whom such order has been made. Again, separate suit is barred, only the appeal, where a third party challenges the judgment debtor's title by filing a suit against the auction purchaser. The decree holder and the judgment debtor shall be a necessary party to the suit. Then both are to be necessary party. If the suit referred to in sub rule 4 is decreed, the court shall direct the decree holder to refund the money to the auction purchaser, and where such order is passed, the execution proceedings in which the sale has been held shall, unless the court otherwise directs, be revived at the stage at which the sale was ordered. Wife का right था, उसने आके set aside करवा दिया, तो then it will start from point 2, 99 से फिर आप नीचे आगे subsidy के खेल में. Then comes return of the purchase money in certain cases. Where a sale of immovable property is set aside under Rule 92, the purchaser shall be entitled to an order for the repayment of the purchase money with or without interest, as the court may direct, against any party to whom it has been paid. With or without interest, the court has to pass the order. Then certificate to the purchaser. अब अगर प्रॉपर्टी खरीदी है उसने, तो सर्टिफिकेट तो देना ही है ना जी. That is known as a court sale certificate. And once the court sale certificate has been issued, he becomes the owner of the property. The auction purchaser becomes the owner of the property, and that is a document of title. Then if the property is in occupation of delivery of property in occupancy of judgment debtor, अगर तो जजमेंट डेटर किया तो वारंट ऑफ पोजेशन जाएंगे, अगर किसी और के पर्सन है अंडर है, even then by attachment and sale of the property, order the delivery of the possession of that property. Then delivery of property in occupancy of a tenant, अगर tenant है तो symbolic possession जाएगा. Now henceforth you will be liable to pay rent to the auction purchaser. You have to attorn it in favor of the auction purchaser. Then comes 97, resistance or obstruction to possession of immune property, where the holder of a decree for possession of the immune property or the purchaser of any such property sold in execution of a decree is resisted or obstructed by any person in obtaining the possession of the decree, he may make an application to the court complaining of such restriction or obstruction. Now, पहले तो obstruction or restriction की report आनी चाहिए. Then the decree holder has to make an application. But no decree holder makes such an application unless and until the police help is required. जब उसको लगो कि ये वहां पे जाएंगे, दंगा होगा, लड़ाई झगड़ा होगा, कोई ऑफेंस क्रिएट किया जाएगा, only then he will make such an application. Otherwise, it is the decree holder, duty of the decree holder to file an application if in case he feels resistance or obstruction to the possession of immune property. Where an application is made under sub-rule 1, the court shall proceed to adjudicate upon the application in accordance with the provisions herein after contained. अब इसके बाद फिर प्रोसीजर शुरू हो गया, कैसे वो एप्लीकेशन को डील विद करना. Then order after adjudication. Upon determination of the questions referred to in Rule 101, the court shall, in accordance with such determination and subject to the provisions of sub-rule 2, make an order allowing the application and directing that the applicant be put into possession and dismissing the application, or pass any such order as in the circumstances of the case is fit. या तो उसको कब्जा दिलवाएगी या कोई और ऑर्डर पास करेगी. Then dispossession by decree holder or purchaser, where any person other than the judgment debtor is dispossessed of immune property by the holder of a decree for the possession of such property, or where such property has been sold in execution of a decree by the purchaser thereof, he may make an application to the court complaining of such dispossession. अगर तीसरे बंदे से भी कब्जा ले लिया है in execution of the decree, he can come to the court under Rule 99 and say that I have been illegally dispossessed, I may be put back in possession of the property. Then order to be passed, फिर वही आ गया, या तो allow करेगी या any order which it deems fit. Now 101 again is the entire procedure. तो जो भी करना है, again the word comes all questions. It has been repeated thrice. 47 again twice in this order. All questions including relating to the right title or interest in the property arising between the parties to a proceedings on an application under Rule 97 or 99 or their representatives and relevant to the adjudication of the application shall be determined by the court dealing with such application and not by a separate suit. Separate suit नहीं होना, because finality has to be given to the proceedings once for all. ये नहीं है कि बार-बार दावा ही करते रहो. Then rules not applicable to transferee pendente life. Nothing in Rule 98 or 100 shall apply to the resistance or obstruction in execution of a decree for possession of immune property by a person to whom the judgment debtor has transferred the property after the institution of this. So, meaning thereby that transferee pendente light has no right to file any such objection because he is bound by the decree. He has given no right. Then orders to be treated as decrees. Again, जो order आएगा वो that will be treated to be a decree and shall be subject to appeal and all that. Then order under Rule 101 or 103 be subject to the result of pending suit. अगर कोई सूट किया हुआ है, जैसा हमने कहा था पहले, इंडिपेंडेंट राइट डिटरमिन करने के लिए उसने अपना दावा किया है, So then all the rules, order made under rule 101, 101 or 103, that shall be subject to that. Then hearing of applications. Then court before such an application under any of the foregoing rules of this order is pending, may fix a date for hearing of the application. Here on the date fixed or any other day to which the hearing may be postponed. The application does not appear when the case is called on for hearing. The court will make an order that the application be dismissed. Order 9, Rule 9. कि बंदा आया नहीं गा application file करने के बाद it has to be dismissed. Setting aside orders passed ex parte. तो 106 जो ex parte order हुआ है, so then again within 30 days, order 9 rule 13 CPC is concerned, that has been made applicable over here. So that covers the entire order 21 of the CPC. Because it can be divided into two parts. One part is up to rule 66 and the second part is after 66. Procedure regarding the movable and immovable property is the same. And most of the things or the orders or the rules or the dictum of the legislature is the same in all the rules. It is just a repetition of the one rule and then repeated. All questions shall be final, not by a separate suit. So why the separate suit was barred was only with a view to cut short the litigation. Because the executing court is seized of the matter. And if the execution is stopped and separate suit is allowed to be filed, then it will take another number of years for getting the suit decided and then again take up the execution proceedings. So the legislature in its wisdom has provided everything under order 21, and it is one of the lengthiest order in the entire CPC. Because I had said at the start of my discussion with you that order 21 is सारी खुदाई एक तरफ, जोरू का भाई एक तरफ. तो आपने देख लिया ना कि सारी CPC का sum, pith and substance is there in order 21, and it is very ticklish and very easy if we go through it mathematically, methodically, and scientifically. It is not a difficult thing because same things are being repeated. We have to understand the underlying meaning for which this order has been enacted. So please unmute. Anji Asim ji, I expect a question from you.
सर मैं तो वो सुनने में बिजी हुआ था.
Everything is clear now?
Very clear, sir.
Because CPC is not that difficult a thing, as is being considered it to be a very, very difficult thing.
सर सवाल
It's
है
generally treated as a very dry subject, but it is actually very interesting.
Very interesting. हाँ जी गौरव जी.
सर एक सवाल था, कैन दी जब एक बार आप एक चीज ये कह रहे हैं कि व्हेन दी व्हाट डू यू कॉल, जब एक बार कोर्ट ने डिक्री कर दी, उसको सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ सेल दे दिया,
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
तो उसके बाद सेल डीड फिर रजिस्टर करानी जरूरी है या इट इज गुड उसको सिर्फ उसको सब रजिस्ट्रार को दे दो एंड ही विल गेट?
As far as I remember, under section 17 of the Registration Act, a sale certificate is exempt from registration.
अच्छा ठीक है सर.
But it is advisable to get it registered. But then again, the difficulty rises कि वो कहते हैं साहब हमारा लैंड रेवेन्यू इसकी वैल्यू इतनी है, तो आप स्टैंप लगाओ, पैसे दो और दो.
वो सब झगड़ा चलता है.
तो हर एक बंदा लूटने को बैठा है, तो कहता है जो मिलता है ले लो भैया, भागते चोर की लंगोटी से ही.
गवर्नमेंट तो ज्यादा जिम्मेदार है इस काम में.
इसमें तो गवर्नमेंट तो परफेक्ट है जी, तो छोड़ेंगे नहीं. और तहसीलदार को क्या पता CPC क्या है या कोर्ट के पावर्स क्या है, वो तो कहता हमें तो डीसी साहब ने कह दिया, बस बात खत्म.
सर बस एक लास्ट चीज, क्या जो व्हेन द ऑक्शन इज कंडक्टेड, कैन द सेल बी कैन द प्रॉपर्टी बी सोल्ड एट अ लेसर प्राइस देन द कमिश्नरेट रेट, कलेक्टरेट रेट?
It depends upon two things. मेरे हिसाब से जो कलेक्टर का रेट है उससे कम नहीं बेची जा सकती,
ओके,
क्योंकि दैट इज द मिनिमम रेट फिक्स्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट।
ठीक है सर।
सेकेंडली, जब हम वैसे भी प्रॉपर्टी, मान लीजिए एक कलेक्टर ने 5,000 रुपए गज का रेट फाइनल किया, हमारा उसमें 2,000 में सौदा होता है,
ठीक है सर।
we can make the actual payment regarding at the rate of rupees 2,000. But as far as the stamp is concerned, stamp हमें 5% के हिसाब से देनी पड़ेगी। They will not register the sale deed. और इसमें 2166 में इसीलिए उन्होंने कहा है कि both the parties are directed to file their own valuation. तो judgment debtor is at liberty to say कि collector rate इतना है और market rate इतना है, so this property should be in between or at the market rate. Because there are one or two judgments which say that everybody knows that market rate is more than what the collector fixes.
ठीक है सर, ठीक है, got it.
So it
Perfect.
depends upon order
Thank you,
21
sir.
rule 66 में ना, इसलिए वो कहा है कि it is an important thing. It is not to be taken lightly. ये settlement of terms है क्रिकेट की, कि इस पे नो बॉल है, ये छक्का लगेगा, ये इसके बाद फ्री हिट मिलेगी, क्या होगा क्या नहीं, it is being determined prior at the time of continuation of the match. Nothing is being decided. अगर
that,
उसमें कोई कमी रह जाती है तो बाद में वो अमेंड कर सकते हैं, मगर under order 21 rule 66 is the most important part of the execution,
ठीक है सर।
which has to be meticulously followed. हाँ जी नीलेश जी।
Wonderful sir, thank you sir.
Any question sir?
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था।
हाँ जी
सर, एक केस के अंदर ना हमारा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट था गवर्नमेंट के साथ और दैट वाज अ रनिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट।
राइट।
अब रनिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के अंदर क्या हुआ कि एक स्पेसिफिक 2 करोड़ की पेमेंट थी, उसको लेके डिस्प्यूट हो गया, हमने आर्बिट्रेशन में चले गए। ड्यूरिंग द पीरियड आर्बिट्रेशन चल रही थी, आर्बिट्रेशन अवार्ड हुआ हमारे को, क्योंकि रनिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट था, जो आगे के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स थे उनकी पेमेंट्स वगैरह आती रही। लेकिन गवर्नमेंट जब पेमेंट करती है तो कभी ये नहीं बताती कि कौन से कॉन्ट्रैक्ट की पेमेंट कितनी कर रही है।
ठीक है।
वो कभी करोड़ रुपया कर दिया, कभी 1.25 करोड़ रुपए कर दिया, ऐसे करते रहे। फाइनली आर्बिट्रेशन के अंदर हम जीत गए। जीतने के बाद हमने एग्जीक्यूशन फाइल कर दी। एग्जीक्यूशन के अंदर वो जो आर्बिट्रेशन जिस टाइम पे चल रहा था, उस टाइम के जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स थे वो लाके ये कहते हैं कि देखो जी हमने तो ये पेमेंट ड्यूरिंग द आर्बिट्रेशन प्रोसीडिंग्स ही कर दी थी।
ठीक है जी।
वेयरएज वो दूसरे कामों के लिए थी। हमने ये ऑब्जेक्शन भी लिया कि ये कैसे मान सकते हो, जिस टाइम पे वो टूथ एंड नेल हमसे फाइट कर रहे हैं आर्बिट्रेशन में, देयर आफ्टर इन सिविल कोर्ट, देयर आफ्टर इवन इन हाई कोर्ट। तो उस चीज को ये कैसे कह सकते हैं कि उस टाइम की हुई पेमेंट्स जो है वो इसके साथ है। लेकिन एग्जीक्यूटिंग कोर्ट कहती है कि आई कांट गो बियॉन्ड डिग्री इफ दे आर एबल टू शो कि फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ कमेंसमेंट ऑफ अवार्ड और फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ डिस्प्यूट, आज तक अगर इन्होंने आपको 2 करोड़ दे दिए तो वी कांट डू एनीथिंग।
नाउ द सिंपल आंसर इज कंटेन्ड इन द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट।
जी सर।
There is one section in the contract act. If the other party goes on making the payment without specifying under which head it is being paid,
जी सर,
then it is the discretion of the person who is receiving the amount.
ओके सर।
To appropriate it towards any amount.
Done,
मान
sir.
लीजिए जजमेंट डेटर ने, दूसरे बंदे ने मेरे को पैसे दे दिए, ये नहीं कहा कि जी ये मैं इंटरेस्ट दे रहा हूँ या प्रिंसिपल दे रहा हूँ।
हाँ जी।
तो मैं कहता हूँ जी मैंने तो प्रिंसिपल में एडजस्ट कर लिए।
ठीक है।
दूसरा कहता मैंने तो जी ये प्रिंसिपल दिया था आपको।
जी सर।
ठीक है ना जी। इसकी बेस्ट एग्जांपल है कि आपने पिक्चर दीवार देखी होगी अमिताभ बच्चन की सो मेनी टाइम्स।
जी सर।
तो जब मंदिर से बाहर आते हैं शशि कपूर और अमिताभ बच्चन, तो उनकी माँ निरूपा राय उसको प्रसाद देती है अमिताभ बच्चन को। वो कहता है तेरे को पता है मैं तो प्रसाद खाता नहीं। तो शशि कपूर जवाब देता है कि भैया माँ आपको प्रसाद दे के दे रही है, आप मिठाई समझ के खा जाओ।
ठीक सर।
ठीक है ना जी। सो दैट इज व्हाई दैट प्रोविजन हैज बीन मेड इन द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट।
जी सर।
कि भी विदाउट डायरेक्शंस अगर गवर्नमेंट ने पेमेंट की है, नाउ आफ्टरवर्ड्स दे कांट रिगल आउट ऑफ दैट। ये और से कभी नहीं है हमने तो ये पर्टिकुलर अमाउंट पर्टिकुलर उसमें दी थी.
ठीक है सर.
It is your discretion that in under which head you want to appropriate that amount. I'll be telling you the particular section itself, or you can go through the section yourself. You will come to know that there is a particular section under the contract act.
जी सर.
So this is very important because देखिए बात ऐसी है नीलेश जी कि जो लॉ है ना, मैंने कल भी कहा था, जैसे वो क्रिकेट का जो मैच है, जो ऊपर वाला कैमरा है ना जी, जो सारे प्लेयर्स को देखता है, स्टेडियम को भी देख रहा है, अंपायर्स को भी देख रहा है. So unless until we have that view in the mind.
जी सर. Sir, it's very difficult to have an overview of civil law.
No.
Until and unless आपने experience लिया हो, जैसे कि आपके पास experience है, it is very difficult to understand all the concepts of, क्योंकि वहीं पर ही बीच में specific relief act भी आ जाता है, वहीं पर ही बीच में contract act का भी जैसे issue आ गया, arbitration भी साथ के साथ पड़ता है.
ऐसा मैं बताता हूँ आपको, जो लगता है ना वो difficult है, it is not difficult.
जी सर.
देखो दो चीजें होती हैं. मैंने जिंदगी में एक चीज देखी है कि जो तो डिफिकल्ट चीज है उसको तो आसान समझ के करो, जो आसान चीज है उसको डिफिकल्ट समझ के करो, तो कभी डिफिकल्टी नहीं आएगी.
ठीक है सर. आगे से हमेशा ध्यान रखेंगे इस बात का.
हाँ, कि किसी भी सेक्शन को पढ़ते हैं ना जी,
क्योंकि आपकी ये प्रैक्टिकल बात है सर. हमने भी ये देखा है कि जिस केस को हम सोच के जाते हैं ना ये तो 100% केस है, वो हमेशा डिसमिस होता है जाती है.
सही बात है.
सोचते हैं कि इसमें कुछ नहीं है,
दिक्कत आ जाती है.
सोचते हैं कि इसमें कुछ नहीं है, उसमें हमेशा नोटिस होता है.
नोटिस होता है और अलाउ भी हो जाता है.
अलाउ भी हो जाता है.
मैं आपको एक बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग बात बताता हूँ. यहाँ पे ना एक प्रॉपर्टी थी, वो प्रॉपर्टी इम्प्रूवमेंट ट्रस्ट ने एक्वायर कर ली और उसमें कॉलोनी बना दी. तो उसमें एक दावा हमने किया, एक दूसरी पार्टी ने किया. तो हमने अपने वाला दावा तो डिक्लेयर करवा लिया ऑन दिस ग्राउंड कि भी मतलब इम्प्रूवमेंट ट्रस्ट के नाम जमाबंदी में कहीं प्रॉपर्टी नहीं है, एंड वी आर इन पोजीशन, एंड इफ इम्प्रूवमेंट ट्रस्ट वांट्स टू डिस्पोजेस अस देन दे हैव नो राइट बिकॉज़ दे हैव नॉट एक्वायर्ड द प्रॉपर्टी. जो उसमें तीसरा बंदा अगर ओनरशिप का है जमाबंदी में लिखा हुआ, ओनली देन दैट पर्सन हैज अ राइट. अदरवाइज a person in possession has 9 points in law, section 110 of the evidence act. अच्छा, वो एक दूसरा केस भी चल रहा था, हमारे दूसरे एडवोकेट थे, उन्होंने हमारे वाला केस कॉपी किया, वो जजमेंट ली और की सारी उसमें डाल दी. दैट सूट वाज डिसमिस्ड. अब वो मेरे पास आ गए, वो थी वाल्मीकि सिवा, वो आके मेरे को कहने लगे, कहते जी ये दावा करो. अब उसमें प्लेंटिफ के प्लान ऐसे हुए, वो कहते जी कमरा बना हुआ है. वो कहते कमरे का साइज बता दो, कहता पता नहीं जी. कहता इसकी छत कैसे बनी हुई है जी, कहता पता नहीं जी. इसमें बिजली कौन सी लगी हुई है, क्या कनेक्शन है, कहता जी पता नहीं. तो एवरीथिंग बस पता नहीं पता नहीं पता नहीं, एंड यू से दैट यू आर इन पोजीशन. तो मैंने उनको कहा भैया ये केस हारने वाला है, एंड नोबडी ऑन द अर्थ कैन मेक यू इन दिस केस.
सर
मैं ये बदनामी वाला केस नहीं लूंगा.
हाई कोर्ट में सर हम कनेक्ट करा लेते हैं ना सारे के सारे, तो सीए भी आर्ग्यू करते हैं.
वो पहले तो फाइनल हो चुका जी, the earlier suit was finalized. तो क्या हुआ कि वो कहते जी अच्छा चलो आप ऐसा करो कि आप अपील दायर कर दो, मगर आप जाना नहीं. तो आपके दिमाग में आएंगे बहस कर देना, हमारी किस्मत है. मैं कहा चलो जी. वो क्या हुआ कि हमने अपील दायर कर दी. जज से हमारे जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज है गुरबीर सिंह, इन्होंने ही वाज एडिशनल, इन्होंने 15 दिन का नोटिस किया, ट्रस्ट पेश हो गया, रिकॉर्ड आ गया. 15 दिन की उन्होंने डाल दी बहस की डेट. 3 डेटें 15-15 दिन की डाल दी. अब हम जाए ना डरते हुए भी, साला इसमें तो है ही कुछ नहीं, जाके कहेंगे अगर उसने हमारे बयान पढ़ दिए तो हम तो वैसे ही बाहर है. तो जब चौथी बार गए तो जज साहब कहने लगे, कहते भाई जज साहब आप बात समझ लो, अभी मैं लास्ट डेट दे रहा हूँ आपको, नेक्स्ट डेट में तो मैं बहस सुनूंगा. मैं ठीक है जी. तो 12 बजे के करीब ना जी मेरे को चैम्बर से बुलाने आ गए. तो मैं चला गया. जाते हुए मैं सोचने लगा, मैं यार जाके मैं बहस क्या करूंगा. तो मैंने कहा यार बाबा वाल्मीकि, मैं तो तेरे से एक रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ, अब तू ही जो बुलवाएगा मैं तो वही बोलूंगा, मैंने कुछ नहीं बोलना. मैं जी कोर्ट में घुस गया. जाते ही जज साहब मेरे को कहने लगे, कहते हो इसमें तो वार्ड हुआ है, दिस प्रॉपर्टी हैज बीन एक्वायर्ड. मैंने कहा जी दिखाइए कहाँ पे है वार्ड में, ये नंबर दिखा दीजिए. देखा सारा वार्ड में नंबर नहीं मिला. फिर मैंने कहा जी दूसरी बात, अगर अवार्ड हो चुका है तो इम्प्रूवमेंट ट्रस्ट इतनी पागल तो है नहीं कि ये इसका इंतकाल नहीं करवाएगी, जमाबंदी में अपना नाम नहीं एंटर करवाएगी। और जमाबंदी आज से 20 सालों से यही चली आ रही है, नॉट इन द नेम ऑफ द ट्रस्ट, एंड इफ ट्रस्ट इज नॉट द ओनर, तो ये मैंने वैसे ही कह दिया। मैं कहा जी पंजाबी में ये मगल लगते हैं जी, साले मेरे को कैसे प्रॉपर्टी से निकाल सकते हैं? A person who is having a better title than me because I'm in possession, and a person in possession has 9 points in law. Only the true owner can dispossess me, and they are not the true owner. True owner is Atmanand Jain Society, so they can dispossess me. कहते हैं any other point? मैं कहा जी बस ठीक है। मैं तो कह के भाग के बाहर आ गया जी। मैंने कहा कहीं इन्होंने कहा कि प्लेंटिफ के बयान पढ़ दो तो मैं तो फ्लैट हो जाऊंगा। कहते जी मैं इम्प्रूवमेंट ट्रस्ट वालों की बात सुन लेता हूँ। वो सुनी ना सुनी पता नहीं, हमें पता लगा कि पुरानी डेट इन्होंने ऑर्डर के लिए फिक्स कर दिया, उस डेट को ऑर्डर नहीं किया। नेक्स्ट डेट को जब ऑर्डर किया तो मुंशी पहले वो पार्टी आई, कहते जी बधाई है आपको। साले बधाई काहे की? कहते जी हम तो अपील जीती है। मैं तेरा दिमाग खराब है ऑल ओवर ही बात कर रहा है। मैंने मुंशी को भेजा, मैंने कहा यार जा देख के आ। कहता नहीं जी अपील तो हमारे हाथ में होगी। मैं तेरा भी दिमाग खराब है साले। myself went to the court, तो रीडर मेरे को जाते कहना बताइए सर अपील आपके हक में हो गई। मैंने कहा दिखाई यार कहाँ पे लिखा अलाउड। तभी मैं उसकी बात नहीं यकीन कर रहा था, एंड देन ही शोड मी अगेंस्ट द लिस्ट के ये देखो अलाउड लिखा है। So this means that sometimes we go with the predetermined mind. उसमें क्या है कि भी मेरा जो अपना असेसमेंट है वो असेसमेंट ये है कि we have not been given the power to pass the order. That work has been assigned to a different person who is the judge.
Is the judge.
It is his duty to pass the order. Our duty is to plead the case.
That's all.
देखिए मैं बताता हूँ, मेरे को याद आ गया अशोक बान जी थे जब हमें पढ़ाते थे प्लीडिंग्स, तो इन्होंने उनकी बताई थी कौन से वेरी बिग नेम इन दी, मैं जस्ट आपको नाम बताता हूँ। उनकी ऑटोबायोग्राफी में कहते हैं एक इंसिडेंट आया, तो कहते हैं उसके पास उनके पास ना एक बंदा आ गया अपील करने के लिए। उन्होंने पढ़ा, कहते यार इस अपील में कुछ नहीं है। तो वो कहने लगा, कहता नहीं जी मैंने अपील तो आपसे ही करवानी है, आप जितने मर्जी पैसे कहो, ये कहो वो कहो। कहते ठीक है। कहते मैंने वकालतनामे पे लिखवा लिया कि माय एडवोकेट इज ऑथराइज्ड टू से इन द कोर्ट एट द स्टार्ट ऑफ द आर्गुमेंट दैट देयर इज नथिंग इन द अपील एंड इट बी डिसमिस्ड। तो कहते जी वो फिर 2-4 दिन के बाद आ गए, कहते जी ऐसा कीजिए आप फलाने दिन अपील दायर कर देना, हमारे धार्मिक गुरु हैं जो उन्होंने कहा है।
यस
चलो कर देंगे भैया कोई बात नहीं है। तो उन्होंने उसी दिन अपील फाइल की। नेक्स्ट डे जब कहते लगी अपील, कहते मैं अपनी चेयर से उठने ही लगा था एडजस्ट करने के लिए, तो जजेस सेड मिस्टर सो एंड सो वी हैव गॉन थ्रू द अपील, वी आर इशूइंग नोटिस ऑफ मोशन एंड वी आर स्टेइंग द प्रोसीडिंग्स। कहता मैं उनका मुंह देखूं, मैंने तो अभी कहना था कि इसको डिसमिस करो, एंड द एंटायर सब्जेक्ट हैज बीन चेंज्ड। कहते बाहर आके मैंने कहा क्या कहा, कहता आई एम ए फूल एंड दीज जजेस आर डैम फूल। एंड द ओनली लॉ इज नोन टू योर धार्मिक गुरु। आई थिंक नाम मेरा को अभी मिसप्लेस हो रहा है, आ रहा है वो, मतलब दिस इज द थिंग फ्रॉम वेयर आई लर्नड द थिंग।
आपने थोड़ा सा टोन डाउन कर दिया, थोड़ा सा टोन डाउन कर दिया। उसने कहा था आई एम अ फूल एंड जजेस आर ब्लडी फूल।
यस जजेस आर